Right now I'm going to tell you about my weirdest skincare strategy. If you've been looking for a reason to discredit me, this might be your favorite video. This is a much more philosophical video than my others, because if you're looking at skincare videos on YouTube, there might be something behind your fixation on skincare. So the wackiest thing I do to take care of my skin is to not be obsessed with skincare as like with a capital S. I try to take care of my body, to eat well, exercise, to sleep well, and to not be so stressed out. But it's hard to do all those things if you're overly fixated on like whatever new irritation has cropped up on your skin. There's a link between our emotions and what's going on with our mind and our physical body. If you don't believe that, then I guess you've never had a sexual fantasy. This isn't that type of channel. Anyway, the beauty industry doesn't want you to know what's going on with your skin. The beauty industry wants you to be obsessed with what is your skin type, because your skin type is not really to help you. It's a thing to help them market products to you. And it's a combination between a forever problem that you'll have throughout your life and like something about you that signifies the baseline about your body. So I'm 41 years old and I didn't get to my skin looking like this right now by being obsessed with quote unquote skincare. I threw all of my beauty products in the trash around 2016. I started focusing on other things. And it's hard to focus on other things if you're having like incessant crazy anxiety about what's going on with your skin. That can make things worse. So in this video, we'll interrogate our obsession with skincare, because I say I'm not obsessed, but I kind of am a little bit. I've always been interested in it throughout my entire life. So Louise Hay, who I love her book, Heal Your Life, by the way, if you happen to be going through a bad time, as I have many parts of my life, this is her idea, not mine. Our skin protects our individuality. Think about that. It physically does. Whether or not you like metaphorically connecting physical things in the world, our skin literally protects our individuality. It is the thing that separates our insides from the outside world. Without our skin, we wouldn't be who we are. We would be a musculoskeletal frame with like organs dragging on the ground. Not necessarily, because you have like fascia and you're basically all one thing, but like different patterns with the tissue making different patterns. So your skin isn't separate from the rest of your body in the same way that you aren't separate from nature. So if you're comfortable in your own skin, as they say, then you feel safe being yourself. So do you not feel safe being yourself? Do you even know who you are? My favorite thing right now for understanding myself for the past several years that I'm very serious about is astrology. Goodbye, haters. Okay, so the people who are not haters are still here and we can continue. If you want to know more about my background in astrology, you can look at my other website, which I will link below. But I have found this practice tremendously helpful, especially in discovering what strategies and tactics and baselines my body appreciates more than others. And again, there's a disclaimer below. I'm not a doctor. You should seek medical advice if you're having a problem. You shouldn't take on a new routine without seeking medical advice. You shouldn't let information like this delay you from seeking medical advice or cause you to dismiss medical advice. All that being said, you are a person. You are a material, physical being. And you're also a psychological, emotional, social, spiritual being to varying degrees. Astrology, a diagram of the planets and luminaries from the perspective of the earth at the time you were born, has a lot to say about things about your physical body, things about foundational and emotional states, and how that unfolds throughout your life. Carl Jung, the famous psychoanalyst, came to understand astrology as something extremely important for use with his clients. I know this is out of the realm of skincare, but also it isn't. So I'll get back into astrology specifically in a moment. There are many other ways you can find out about yourself and find out how to be comfortable in your own skin. Another kind of woo modality is a combination between astrology and the Yi Jing called human design. But there are other less woo ways of doing it. Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, if you get a consultation from an experienced, skilled, devoted practitioner with whom you have appropriate chemistry, you can find a lot about your body's baselines, especially at this time in your life, because your body changes throughout your life. And especially if you are a woman, then your body changes throughout the month. You're sort of 4 different bodies. Hippocrates, his name is where the Hippocratic Oath comes from that doctors take, said that you are not a doctor unless you understand astrology. So there must be something there. Anyway, I also talk about Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine in the video about food and eating with an eye towards skincare, which I will link here after I post it. Also, any spiritual pursuit can teach you a lot about yourself. Another thing that can help that's less woo, but still could be considered on the woo spectrum by some, is a therapist. A good therapist can get you really far. Our culture tends to stigmatize therapy as like, oh, you're going to therapy because something's wrong with you. But you don't have to have, something's wrong with all of us. We're all trying to heal something throughout our lives. Nobody is born perfect. And even if you have a perfect life, eventually you're going to find, you're going to go through some sort of period of searching. And a good therapist can really help. I consider it also pretty difficult. You have to have a stroke of luck to find a good therapist who's good for you. I was lucky enough to have a good therapist. She helped me discover parts of myself that I would not have uncovered on my own. Having things mirrored back to you by a human who is empathetic, who is skilled in knowing how to talk to humans in this way, and with whom you have good chemistry, I really feel like that's very important, can be invaluable. And I was so lucky. I was issued this therapist by the state of California because something really bad happened to me. Often in these situations where I'm just assigned a person of authority for one reason or another, a lot of times that person is like somehow working at cross purpose to me and doesn't end up being of benefit. But in this situation, I got very lucky. So a therapist is another way you could do this. Journaling is another free way that you could find out about yourself. I had a teacher who once told me that you could write yourself out of darkness in 8 minutes. And I've tried it and it works. You don't have to be in what you consider a place of darkness. But if you're extremely fixated on skincare and you find that nothing's working for you, there might be a deeper thing that fixation on skincare is a placeholder for. And diving into your life in a reflective, thoughtful way through journaling can be extremely helpful. And people might say, like, where do you get off talking about this stuff? Stay in your lane. I would consider it irresponsible for me to give you all these videos about skincare and not address what does it even mean to care about your skin so much. But there are other things like living life and smelling the rain and being with other humans that we love that we're here to do. Another non-woo way you can find out about yourself is the Enneagram, which a lot of people find very helpful. Anyway, the Enneagram is a more secular way of categorizing people in a layered, complex, nuanced way. Yourself and your curiosities besides your skin are so much more interesting. Even if journaling is too woo for you, science can be that for you. Once you start to go down the science rabbit hole, you'll find that it gets more mystical than you could have possibly expected. There are so many elegant patterns around how this world works and how our bodies work and how light and photons and minerals and wind and electricity works. If that's what you're curious about, maybe that has something to do with who you are and why you're here. It's not to be insecure about your skin all the time, that's for damn sure. Or maybe you are here to do that for a while and then to discover something else and to discover why you needed to be insecure about your skin for a while. Maybe you're not even insecure about your skin, you have really great skin, however, you're just obsessed with being more and more perfect every day. In a way, that is a form of insecurity. So science can be that for you, mathematics can be that for you, data analytics can be that for you, blacksmithing could be that for you. You can find out about yourself through any practice. Martial arts, who are you? The skincare will fall into place. If you don't know what your thing is, or if you're not interested in anything, get out into nature. Nature will tell you things. You will discover some tiny thing that takes you somewhere. Visit a botanical garden or even a museum. That's not nature, that's the built environment, but there's something there. It doesn't need to be wacky, it doesn't need to be woo, it doesn't need to be astrology. If you don't know who you are yet, perhaps that's making you anxious, and you need to allow yourself time and space to wander. Our current world doesn't want you to wander in that way. Our current world wants you to be on your device and go to your job and be as distracted as possible. And they also want you to choose a career path when you're in like 6th grade So we all have different baselines. We all have different things that our body is comfortable with because we're all different. I don't believe we're born blank. We're born at specific times and places unto specific parents or caretakers, and that shapes our life. The book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, which he says is not about astrology, also says that people's success stories are a product of, this is a quote, accidents of time and location of birth. That is what astrology is. With astrology, you need to know your birth time, your birth location, and the day. You need to know the time and place that you stepped onto this timeline as a being separate from your mother, and that shapes your life. It's not woo at all. Astrology happens to offer a diagram that describes that very clearly. If you look at the birth charts of the people that Malcolm Gladwell describes in his book Outliers, you will find that what he describes in his book about those people and their path in life and their skills and opportunities is mirrored in a diagram of the planets at the moment that person was born. I made these guides below. It is a skincare guide for each sign of the zodiac. I made them so you can get the one for your sun sign and for your moon sign and for your rising sign. And if you don't know what those things mean, and also in case you accuse me of trying to take your money, I made a free course. So you don't even need these guides that I made. I made a course that tells you how to read your own natal chart. So if you are skeptical, you can go through that course and see for yourself, and you don't even need this guide. I mean, what amounts to skincare is taking care of your body. And the guides I made they're about how you might approach skincare. They're not medical advice. They amount to being more of an approach to self-care. And I know that's a dirty word now because the culture at large doesn't want you to take care of yourself. They want you to watch Netflix and look at your phone all night long in the blue light and go to work groggy. The culture at large does not want you to prioritize taking care of yourself. So that has been made a dirty word. But the guides I made offer an approach to self-care through the lens of each sign of the zodiac. And what I recommend is you get the one for your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. When you feel comfortable in your body, you can feel comfortable in your skin, and you can calm the down. I'll end with a quote by Martha Graham. There is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that's translated through you into action, and there is only one of you in all time. This expression is unique, and if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, not how it compares with other expression. It is your business to keep it yours, clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You do not even have to believe in yourself or your work. You do have to keep open and aware directly the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, it helps me make more videos. Subscribe to my newsletter, and take care.